To all my black people, as we sit back and watch with our popcorn and in shock and awe as China pulls back the veil in regards to manufacturing for a lot of these major Western companies, I just want us as black people to remember not to get so lost in the sauce when it comes to China.
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria.
Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours, you guys are the real MVP. So I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share where black people are having this thought about what is happening between China and the States. And brothers and sisters, that I actually stitched that video made a lot of sense, talking about how these people are getting most of their raw materials from Africa. Like before people celebrate and try to, create allianship, I think it's best to actually understand, the roots of all of the things that is going on. And this is what I actually learned from this teacher I'm about to put together. I'm just going to roll it. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
To all my black people, as we sit back and watch with our popcorn and in shock and awe as China pulls back the veil in regards to manufacturing for a lot of these major Western companies, I just want us as black people to remember not to get so lost in the sauce when it comes to China that we automatically start assuming the enemy of my enemy equals my friend, because that's not really the case here. And I'm not saying this is anti-Chinese propaganda or to deter people from taking advantage of the lower price of goods or possible business opportunities. Do your thing. Go visit China if you want to. I don't really give a fuck. All I'm saying is I don't want our generational frustration of dealing with the West as black people to blindly lead us into the arms of China, because we feel like just because China is in opposition to the West, they should inherently have black people in the black community's best interests at heart, because they don't. And whether you realize it or not, they have just as many and if not more minds in the Congo as the West do. And the way that those business owners treat our brothers and sisters over in Africa is just as horrendous. So as we sit here and we are watching the fall of the United States and we are watching the continuous rise of China, don't blindly jump into the arms of another oppressor. We as black people should be able to sit back, watch, and study a country like China and see how they got to where they got over the past 30 years. See, I think you're making this assumption that because Burkina Faso is the blueprint of what a lot of African countries should be or should strive to be, and that they're working with China, it's okay for other African countries to work with China as well. And that's just not the case. And I say that because Burkina Faso is an outlier. They're one of, if not the only African countries with competent leadership that cares about its citizens. Ibrahim Traoré and that government has paid off that country's international debt, nationalized their resources, and invested in their infrastructure and agriculture, empowering their citizens in the country as a whole from within first before they go seek anything else from outside. So when they go to the table to do business with a country like China, everybody at that table understands it's a totally different conversation than when you don't control your own resources or narrative like a country like Uganda or something. China understands that when they go to that table to talk business, they're doing business with Burkina Faso, not just Ibrahim Traoré. They can't go slide Ibrahim Traoré a check under there and be like, hey, let us get one of your little gold mines for the low and let's get some cheap labor and we'll make sure you get a nice private jet. That's not the conversations that are being had. Ibrahim Traoré also is pushing the envelope and telling other African leaders like, yo, China may be the world's manufacturer right now, but we are the world's raw materials distributor. And if we don't get our shit together, they gonna be both. And that's really the biggest thing that people gotta understand. Like, everybody talking about, we've been going to the middleman, like these Western companies have been the middleman and China been the plug and China been the connect. No, Africa is the connect, bro. We are the plug. We have always been the plug. Us and our people are the connect. We are the plug. China would not be able to sustain anything they're doing globally right now without Africa, without the Caribbean. And people have got to understand that. And China wants to do business with countries in Africa that have corrupt leadership because they understand that it's easy for them to make a profit when they don't have to properly pay laborers. See, I think you're making this assumption that because Burkina Faso is the
Many of you all are just excited about the revelation that most of the luxury goods and items, including electronics and clothing and accessories that are purchased in the United States, are made in China. And I have seen countless videos of people who are rushing to try and buy direct from Chinese manufacturers. But I just want to call time out for just a second. We have to be so careful about the information that is disseminated. We know mainstream media is compromised and has been for decades. But even on this app, we have to really interrogate who is sending out what message and what could be their motive. Now, supposedly Chinese manufacturers have blown the lid off the secret that in luxury goods, they make the majority of them. And so many of us are scrambling trying to buy direct from Chinese manufacturers, but we need to wait for a moment. Africa really needs to enter the chat, because where do you think China gets most of the raw materials that it uses to make the luxury items and other goods that it exports to the United States? Africa. Our mother continent has long been pillaged because of its great natural resources and its peoples exploited. And China is next in line. For decades, China has made huge investments in many countries in Africa, and this is not altruism. They have an ulterior motive. And just as many African nations are throwing off the last vestiges of imperialism and colonialism, here comes China. China has lent African nations billions of dollars for infrastructure, in loans. The trade between China and Africa has blown up in previous decades and continues to grow. But that is because China seeks to be the dominant world power, and they see the resources of Africa and its people as a way of doing so. And that does not bode well for the mother continent. So I'm ready for African designers and manufacturers and political leaders and pundits and economists and technology leaders to enter this chat so that they can give their perspective on this entire situation. So you all, please don't be so quick to go, hooray, China, because it is never that simple. Hey, I know many of
The bags come from China, but the leather comes from Nigeria. The bags are manufactured in China, but the leather, the exotic skins, the snake skin, the alligator, it comes from Kano, Nigeria. Come on in, let's talk about it. Yes, because I love that the Chinese manufacturers are coming on here and asserting that they are producing these luxury bags and luxury goods, but also Black people have a hand in that manufacturing by way of tanneries in Kano, Nigeria. So a tannery is an institution, a business in which you are converting animal products like skins, leather, suede, alligator skins, snake skins, all kinds of exotic skins into textiles so that they can be used for goods, clothing, bags. And Kano, Nigeria is headquarters, world headquarters for this practice. And they have long since been headquarters for hundreds of years. So I interviewed during the pandemic a man named Winston, and he leads a business out of Kano, Nigeria called Winston Leathers. And they are actually a third generation tannery. So he confirmed that his tannery produces leather goods and exotic skins for brands like LVMH, so Louis Vuitton's portfolio of brands, Ralph Lauren, many other luxury brands. And I interviewed him on Twitter. I'll link to that thread so you can go back and read it. But yeah, he shared that this practice of providing exotic skins to the world, but specifically to China, goes back to the Silk Road, when traders in Mali were providing leather goods up through Morocco and on into Asia. Moroccan leather is known for its quality, and Winston actually shared that Moroccan leather can be traced back to Kano, Nigeria, and it's actually Kano leather. So I love all the conversation that Chinese manufacturers have started around like amplifying that those goods are produced and manufactured in China. I want to go a layer deeper and talk about how Black people are actually contributing to the manufacturing as well, because the leather goods and the exotic skins that make up those bags that they're putting together in China actually started on the continent of Africa, in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about all of it. And, sorry, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my brush down to talk about some bags that I love by Black designers. So, this beauty is Antelope. This is by a brand called Brother Valet. A Black woman named Aurora James leads that brand. I still wear fur. Don't kill me. I read a great New York Times article about how basically fur was phased out when Black women were able to access it in greater numbers. So basically, because Black women could access something that white people felt was exclusive to them, that's when they decided, oh no, vegan leather. And I am not a proponent of, inhumane treatment of animals, but I do love fur, and it is a part of Black womanhood, Black girlhood, rites of passage. We hand down fur coats. So I love a fur. Brother Valet has great bags, and they also benefit women in Africa who construct these bags. I want to talk about Hanifa. I can't get enough of Hanifa. I love Hanifa Muvemba as a person, and she is also a Black designer from the continent of Africa. She is from Congo, and she produces bags. This is a great bag. It comes in a larger size. It also comes in black, I believe, and maybe red. And yes, I love this bag. She sent this bag to me. Thank you so much, sister. Love this down and wear it. Okay? And we gotta talk about Loire. So Loire is headed by Raul Lopez. He is a person of color, and he's actually previously one half of Hood by Air. So if you're familiar with Hood by Air, they pioneered streetwear. He was one half of the duo who founded it and led it. So icon already. He circled back, okay, and hit us with another brand called Loire. This is the ostrich texture. This is 100% genuine leather. It's ostrich textured. I also have a smooth version of this bag in brown. And then I also want to shout out another Black handbag designer named Wilglery. She has the brand Anima Iris. I had the pleasure of working with Wilglery when I was at Amazon.
I don't know why all these people are asking Black people to talk about this Chinese shit that's going on. Let me just speak for my people. We ain't never been treated fairly up in this country. They ain't never wanted us to win. So for you guys that think that Black people are going to get out here and protest about some shit in China, honey, you got us fucked up. Because they ain't never wanted us to make their clothing. They ain't never wanted us to wear their bags. They ain't never wanted us to shop with them, honey. So we ain't feeling any type of way, honey. This ain't nothing new to us. They been robbing us blind. And I love my little Chinese people, honey. But y'all been doing our nails, talking about us for years. Black people have been mistreated, robbed, and tortured.
Okay, so there's so many people that are seeing what's going on between China and the US. And funny thing is, I'm in China right now. So I'm gonna explain to you what traveling to China feels like for a Black woman. Okay? I could just speak for a Black woman. But I spoke to a Black man who was here. He's from Africa, and he had similar issues. Little kids, older people in general are going to stare at you. If you're going to school out here, the students don't really stare. People around the Gen Z millennial age are not going to stare at you. Sometimes they will. The bikes and the freaking motorcycles, they really don't move out of the way much. And they really will hit you. I had a friend that got hit, so be careful. Name calling. They have the Chinese N-word, which means hey gui. Honestly, I've never been called the Chinese N-word by I've never been called a Chinese N-word by a Chinese person. It was by the Russians. That's another thing to look out for. The Russians out here do not like black people. They're Trump supporters also. So, there's that. They'll come here for study abroad. Most people who do study abroad are looking to deepen their horizon. They're used to meeting all different types of people from all over the world. The Russians are not like that. So, be careful. I would recommend you don't come out here by yourself. And if you do, try to make friends with other people of color who are not coons. Anyways, last thing. Also, with the name calling. Hey Sudaren, which means, or Hey Suren. They really don't say Suda. Hey Su means black, or Hey Suda means black. Ren means person. So if they're pointing at and laughing, they'll point and laugh at you. They are calling you a black person. The laughing. I've been laughed at to my face, but the best place to go are touristy areas where they're used to, by the way, look at that view. Isn't that beautiful? Touristy areas where they're used to tourists. I'm in Shanghai right now. I'd recommend Shanghai. I really don't. My school, when I was in middle school and high school, was obsessed with Beijing. That's where all my teachers were from, and I really wanted to go to Beijing, but I'm genuinely happy I came to Shanghai. They have a really good transportation system. They're a lot more open-minded. They're more welcoming to tourists, even though they're not the most welcoming. But out of all of China, they are. If you travel outside of Shanghai, prepare to experience racism times 20 than what you're already used to. You know what I mean? Mostly here, old people will stare and little kids will point or stare, but most of the racism that I've experienced, the name calling, the laughing, was outside of Shanghai. So traveling outside of Shanghai is very exhausting. I need you to mentally prepare yourself for open racism. I'm from Boston, so I'm used to institutional racism, not outward racism, and it is very exhausting. Also, they will gaslight you. Is that Mimi? Sorry, y'all, bumped into my friend. That's another thing, great thing, is you meet all different types of people who are really sweet, and they make the experience worth it. What else can I say? Oh, last thing. Here. The reason why I didn't want to have out my natural hair is because I'm constantly getting up, getting ready for classes. I have to wake up at 8:30 for classes, and it's just easier to maintain. I do knotless, so I can wash my braids while they're in, and then I can still wash my scalp. They're going to grab your hair. Hold on. Okay, boom. Also, these egg tarts, well, I don't know what they're called. Egg something. Yeah, they're freaking amazing. Like, they're not too sweet, but they like just have a great hint of sweetness. It's like really good. A little soft on the inside, is crunchy on the out. I love it. Okay, last thing, like I was saying, they will grab your hair. I've had my hair grabbed twice. They like talking about it, bring it up. They like, whatever. Talking about it or bringing it up. I don't even know how to say hair in Chinese. I don't even remember. Like, the last time I learned how to say hair in Chinese was like 11th grade. I'm like 31. Maybe 10th. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, they're gonna grab your hair. So that's weird. Please prepare to set boundaries, to be aware of your surroundings, understand what's going on. to protect yourself, to advocate for yourself. Please be prepared for that, because honestly, people out here are not very welcoming to people of color. They will gas every other race plus Chinese. People will gaslight you about the racism out here. Racism just is what it is. You can call it what you want. Oh, they've never seen a black person before. They're ignorance, whatever you want to call it, to rebrand whatever it is. Racism is racism. And that's just, it is what it is. There's no excuses for it. Whatever. If you're Chinese and you see this, please do better. I'm gonna also post on Red Note, because I literally had a video go viral, 50,000 views on Red Note, me asking how China feels about black people. And when I tell you, it was so telling. Like, I already knew how they felt, but I just wanted to see if they were going to, like, admit it. And I promise you, the racism, the gaslighting, the ignorance in those comments are so scary to me. I've been called the Chinese N-word twice on that app. One from a fake page. One of the girls told from her real page. Mind you, she's out here learning Chinese. Like, girl, you skipped all of your studies and went straight to the racism. I don't even remember how to say it. And not only did she know how to say it, she knew how to type it, and she sent it. She couldn't wait. So, yeah, that's my life right now. Yeah. So, if you are black and you come to China, prepare yourself.
Like,
That's
seriously,
it.
love this. When I saw the China controversy, with the states and the tariffs and all of that, I thought about this for a second. I was like, okay, wow, they are selling cheap goods, they are selling all of this, but where are they even getting these cheap materials? It is not a lie that Africa is blessed with natural resources. They are blessed. Look at what is happening in Congo. Do you know that these people might actually be, exporting things from Congo? The phones that they are producing and everything is actually gotten from all of the materials, the copper and whatsoever that is used to manufacture these electrical cars, phones, whereabouts, and all of that. Congo is suffering. Congo is suffering. Talk about the leader with the bag and shoes and all of that is gotten from somewhere in Africa, Nigeria. Oh God. Africa is blessed, but Africa have a problem with bad governance, with influence of colonial masters. If you don't agree with what they want, if you don't agree that they will keep on stealing your resources, your life would be at risk. If you don't agree, you are not even going to be the president. Like, in short, they are ruling over there, but they are still ruling Africa. So that is why when we talk about struggle, I like to generalize it. This is black struggle. Black people have been oppressed all over the world. They are still being oppressed to date. If not because of these new generations that are coming out now, everybody's trying to these people they have been stealing and stealing, and they're still stealing from Africa. Africa is blessed. Are you going to talk about oil, raw materials? Are you going to talk about it is? So these guys right now that is all over the social platforms, reacting and trying to be the hero of the world, they should also talk about where they get their raw materials to finish this product in the manufacturing industry. If you go to Africa right now, there is this group of people that goes, house to house, trash to trash to pick some materials. Like, I don't know what they call them. I've forgotten, but they go house to house, or you know, where they trash things to like trash cans or trashy stuffs. They go out there to pick some raw materials to produce rubber, to produce things, and they ship it abroad. Where is the abroad? Where? If it's not China, they ship it abroad. Since China is, China have 80% of manufacturing industry. They manufacture 80% of whatsoever thing. That means their raw materials are being gotten from where? From most of these African countries, Congo, Nigeria, Sudan, like name it but a few, because they are blessed with natural resources. That's why when I saw this brother talking about how black people, oh my god, okay, you've been shocked, but sometimes you also need to think, that these people are still taking from you. They are taking from you. You know, the only people that is still being is still people that looks like me. That's still the ones. If they don't have, if they're not being colonized and stolen from where it's not like, I'm not even going to talk about the artifact that is told to Europe. Like so many. And you dare tell these people to go back to their country when you won't leave their country and their resources alone. So anytime I see anyone talking about or trying to tell African people go back to your country, especially people from Europe or any other person trying to tell go back to your country, like these people are following, they are following the resources that you stole from them. If you leave Africa, Africa will leave you. If you leave their leaders and the way at which you people manipulate them and try to put their life at risk because they don't want to do whatsoever. There are so many African leaders that have decided to not get involved with anything that has to do with politics, because if they do, everyone is fighting for their life. Anyway, lovely listener, just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.